Now the dolphin is known for having I don't know. Breaking news.
There's a deadly flu epidemic going around. Everybody has the cure in their own home. Find out what it is after the break.
Soul brother!
In Soviet Russia, there is no soul brother, but a soul comrade. Soul comrade.
Just kidding, there's no cure. Welcome to the Ryan Fuller Show. I'm your host, Nick Batchelor, and this is Ryan Fuller. Today, we're going to be talking about the Cold War, or the war that was cold. It's your choice.
Now today we're first going to talk about the Russian Revolution. In 1917 there were two revolutions that went through Russia, ending the imperial rule and setting in political and social changes that formed the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union being formed and it being a communist nation, there were a lot of disputes between the US and the USSR, thus causing the Cold War. Dun, dun, dun.
Hey everybody, I'm your field reporter, Jacob Shank. Today we will discuss the Cold War. Our fine production crew at Ryan Fuller's show has produced a time machine for me to document history at its finest hour. Now, we just step in here. Woo! There we go. Today we travel to the 1980s. This is time marked of the decline in the Cold War. The Cold War was the longest conflict of the 20th century. It affected foreign and domestic policies, the presidency, and personal life of Americans. Now, we will go to the beginning of the Cold War. To the time machine! Woo! Man. The Cold War begins in the late 1910s, when America has experienced the Red Scare. As World War II came about, surface differences came between the Americas and Soviets. And then the atomic bomb.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
What is this?
Nukes!
Hello, and on today's What Is It, we will talk about nuclear weapons. First, let's talk about the physical aspect. Nuclear weapons weigh about 2,400 pounds and have explosive power up to 1.2 million tons of TNT. Can you even fathom that? Just take some time to fathom it. Right now. Right now. Time's up. You fathom it yet? Now let's talk about the other characteristics of nuclear weapons. Nuclear fission reactions begin nuclear fusion, which exponentially grows due to chain reactions from the energy. This triggers the final nuclear fusion. These thermonuclear reactions are caused one of two ways. The first one is the gun method, where they shoot unstable matter into each other, hoping that the atoms are split. The next is the implosion method, where they compress unstable matter spheres using explosives to multiple times their densities. These processes increase the speed of neutrons to great temperatures.
And now to Bachelor with the weather.
Thank you, Ryan. Now, this is Russia in 1300 BC. But let's look past that. There's a massive cold front coming in. However, what we don't have is warfare. There were no battles fought between the U.S. and the Soviet Union. And this is why the Cold War was called the Cold War. Back to you, Ryan.
And now to Bachelor.
Back to you, Ryan.
Fine. Oh, word just in that Jacob has another field report.
Now to the Cuban Missile Crisis. This was leaders of the United States and the Soviet Union engaged in a tense 13-day political and military standoff over Soviet armed nuclear missiles on Cuba, 90 miles from the United States. That's like some distance from the United States. The United States then made a blockade around Cuba to show they would use military force to neutralize it if they had to, or were threatened of national security. The Soviet leader then offered an exchange that they would take away the missiles if the U.S. did not invade Cuba. So now we come to the Soviet scare of 1983. This was when Soviet intelligence went on very high alert, expecting a United States nuclear attack. Wow. And that's all for me, Nick and Ryan. Back to you.
The people here at the Ryan Fuller Show would like to bring to you the Bay of Pigs. In January of 1961, Dwight Eisenhower placed an embargo on Cuba. The CIA had already made plans to lead exiles to invade Cuba and overthrow Fidel Castro. After Eisenhower left office, JFK approved the plan. On April 17, 1961, 1,300 U.S. backers landed in the Bay of Pigs, hoping to find local help. They were losing badly, but JFK decided not to send in the Air Force. On April 19, 1961, it came to an end. 90 exiles were dead, and the others were captured. All this did was shame JFK and make Castro wary of the U.S. Hey man, we stuck in here.
Shut up! Hey Ryan, I know the weapons were stored, but where are they stored?
Well, they're stored in government storage, like this building right now, which is now the site of the Ryan Fuller Show.
What's this button do?
No! Well, we're animated now, and, I guess that's the end of the Ryan Fuller Show.
So, comrade,
This has been the Ryan Fuller Show. We're very sorry that we had to go, but our house is gone and we're living on the street with the front of a Soul Combat truck. Now go on to eBay.com and buy stuff from our catalog so we can buy a new house. Each item is $5,000 a pop. Cue Abacatastolo!
There's a deadly flu epidemic going around. Everyone might have the cure in their own home. There's a deadly flu epidemic going around. Everybody has a cure in their own home. Find that out after the break. Welcome to the Ryan Fuller Show. I'm your host, Nick Batchelor, and this is Ryan Fuller. Hi.
You're supposed to turn it off. Alright, turn it off. Haha, just kidding.
Welcome to the Ryan Fuller Show. I'm your host, Nick Batchelor, and this is Ryan Fuller.
Hi.
Today, we're going to be talking about the Cold War, or the war that was cold. It's your pick.
It was recording.
Alright, thank you, Ryan. So we have a massive cold front coming in. However, what we don't have is fighting. And this was why the Cold War was called the Cold War. There was no fighting. Hey, we can't get out.
No. I forgot. Okay, turn off.
Shut up!
You didn't do your line.
I don't have to.